Then, Grace Kelly of Philadelphia, with most of her family and many of her closest friends, sailed away to become a princess.
Prince Renier's yacht bears his betrothed in triumph into the harbor at Monaco. A few hours earlier, Grace Kelly...
Once we arrived in Monaco, it was, of course, all the madness that one has seen in over the years of what went on.
They came by the thousands to welcome and to judge. She was rich, she was beautiful, but she was an American, and to some of them, just an actress.
I think Grace had a tough job being a movie star from America, moving into the life of the symbol of a southern country.
Constant round of parties and being part of this glamorous and mythological event, and just simply being around royalty was new to all of us.
As Grace took up a totally new role, some who did not know her watched and waited for her to fail.
Ego conjuncum vos in matrimonium in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
It was like a fairy tale, all of it, and that's the part that we got to be part of.
It was not a fairy tale. Grace relaxed at her husband's side, but she knew to the Monegasques she now had to prove herself worthy of being the wife of their ruler, Prince Renier III.
The last time I saw Grace was in my own imagination when she was on the yacht, chugging away into the Mediterranean after the wedding was over, and I realized that there was no more Grace Kelly. Grace Kelly was a memory. Grace Kelly was history. There was only Princess Grace of Monaco.
And then we all went home, and she stayed there.
This was a very hard challenge for her because not only the language barrier, but in a foreign world, a foreign customs, and the principality, the formal way of doing things.
She kept studying things that would enforce her position as princess. She utilized everything around her. She improvised on being a princess the way a really good actress will improvise on a part.
For example, she always tried to simplify things. Alexandre, the great hairdresser in Paris, fixed for her a number of special pieces of hair attachments. So when she traveled with all these French aristocrats, and while they were busy making appointments with hairdressers everywhere we went, Grace was always ready with one of these hair pieces, which she would make it into some kind of a wonderful hairdo. Never took extra time.
Since she was fundamentally a working woman, she did everything with a great seriousness of purpose, with a great sense of responsibility.
On cultural or diplomatic occasions, with presidents or with popes, she was expected to be perfect in bearing and often in her newly acquired language.
Partons bientôt pour Paris et ensuite Monaco, et notre visite était très agréable.
It was something that I am amazed that she could handle. I wondered so many times, I don't know, I know I could never do that. But she was determined to make a success of it.
I ask you either or both to explain what will happen in the event twins are born, a boy second and a girl first. Who would be the ruling monarch?
The normal successor would be the eldest of the children, even if it's a girl. But that doesn't mean that she will rule, because she can always resign or abdicate in favor of her younger brother, and he would then rule.
Are twins expected?
Not that I know of.
Princess Grace, is your life as a princess what you imagined it would be before you became a princess?
Well, I sort of became a princess before I had much time to imagine what it would be.
With the birth of a daughter, Caroline, on January 23, 1957, the line of succession was secure. Just 15 months later, a male heir, Albert, arrived to even greater celebration.
I think the easier thing came was when she had the children, and they did come very quickly. She wanted the children. She loved them, and we had so much fun roughhousing together. Her children and my children, and our children are the same age, and they've gone to camp together. Don and I have been over to Monaco several times with the children, and they've come here in Ocean City.
Their needs were the same, for closeness and for family. In addition to her own children, Grace would always have the Kellys. Prince Renier soon found himself an accepted part of that family.
Grace always adored children. She almost over-adored her own children. She was the typical loving, sometimes too disciplining, but always giving mother.
Private time was essential for them both. Family life was a retreat from the formalities of state. And Grace was determined to keep her family a success. No matter how demanding her official schedule, there was always time for her children. There were the trips home, often with Prince Renier. There was the anniversary for Margaret Kelly and her growing brood of grandchildren. For Prince Renier, cruises on his yacht meant he could indulge his passion for fishing. Then there was the time set aside for enjoying the palace pool with children and friends. But for the Monegasques, Grace herself had gone beyond performance. Through the years, by her diligence, her constancy, she truly was Her Serene Highness, Princess Grace of Monaco.
You know, I don't wake up in the morning thinking I'm living a fairy tale. I have the job to get done and children to raise and a lot of responsibilities and obligations. I like to think that they would consider me a professional at my job, no matter what it would be. If I take on something, I like to do it well, and I like to do it completely.
Some people often say that Grace made a great sacrifice of her career in becoming the Princess of Monaco. I don't think she ever felt that way.
We all say she made as good a princess as she was a movie actress, even better.
You know, in fairy tales, one has to invent a prince and a princess. But here we have them. We had them.
It was in the rugged hills along the border with France that Princess Grace's car went out of control at a curve that has seen many accidents. According to the official version, Princess Grace was driving her 17-year-old daughter Stephanie when the brakes failed. A young Monegasque woman put her feelings about Princess Grace this way. She was never a problem for her. There were no pretensions, no scandals. She was, after all, a lady.
I think she won the hearts and the love of the Monegasque people. Because when she died, I've never seen such true sorrow. For me, just to have a great sister and to have a loving sister.
Before she was a princess, she was an actress. And before that, a girl from Philadelphia. A family girl.